Well, speaking of pliable, that's a great segue to talk about Tom Brady because he was the subject of a very controversial roughing the passer call against the Falcons. The Falcons had the chance to come back and win the game until this call, Mike. I know you went off about it on God Bless Football with Stu Gatz and Billy, but give us the Cliff's notes on the roughing the passer calls this weekend in the NFL.
That one, Grady Jarrett for the Falcons actually wrapped up Brady, and Grady Jarrett hit the ground first and basically just rolled over and brought Brady with him. And they threw the flag, and I literally was watching, and I said, oh, man, I wonder if somebody was holding. And never in my mind was I thinking that was going to be a roughing the passer. I'm like, oh, I wonder what the flag was. It was a intense part of the game. As you said, the Falcons needed to stop. They're trying to come back. And they called roughing the passer. I was speechless. And if anybody that follows me on Twitter, I'll tweet about these. I'll tweet about the targeting in college, or how sick I am of a lot of this shit. And I was dumbfounded. And the ref tried to explain after the game, there is no explanation for that call. I think it was Boger was the official in that one. There is no explanation. He said when Jarrett rolled him over, he threw him into the ground, which is complete bullshit. It was a joke of a call. And then it got accented last night, or I should say the Monday night game, Chiefs and Raiders, which, by the way, the Raiders have been getting their asses kicked by the Chiefs the last 3 times they played. The Raiders played really well last night, still lost by a point. But Chris Jones, just envision this in your head if you didn't see it, had a rush where Derek Carr started moving up in the pocket. Jones came at him from behind, and Jones hit him and actually stripped the ball. And on the way down, Chris Jones actually got possession of the ball. The play wasn't even over. Chris Jones stripped the ball. It was an incredible play. It was an incredible play. Had possession of the ball, landed on Derek Carr, but as he was landing, he put his left arm out, which these D linemen are starting to do. So because you're not allowed to throw your full weight on the quarterback. So he put his left arm out to try and brace and not have his full weight go on him, and they threw the flag. I don't even know what to say anymore, and we'll get into what Troy Aikman said, how much he felt about it. It was a horrific call. It's really getting to the point where the quick decision they made about the concussion protocol and change the wording, they need to do this. And people may say, well, you can't compare roughing the passer to the concussion. Yes, you can, because it's changing out. It can change outcome of games. The situation in the Monday night game that should have been the Chiefs' ball, it gave the Raiders a ball. They kept possession and they kicked the field goal. So that cost 3 points. Last I checked, you can win a game by 3 points. So it is absolutely can affect outcomes of games. So the competition committee, they need to get together. They've already proven you can change something within a week. They just did it, right? They just did it with the concussion protocol to change the stupidity of what they have going on with the roughing the passer and how they're calling it, because it is a joke. And unfortunately, it led, Troy Aikman was doing the game, and I loved it when Troy, because that's what you need, a guy like Troy, a Hall of Famer, a guy who's, revered in the football world, to be saying how bad that is and how it needs change. And then unfortunately, he what did he say? He said, we need to take the dresses off the quarterbacks or something like that.
The committee needs to take the dresses off. It was misogynistic, Mike. He didn't need to say it. I saw of course I'm always on social media, so I saw a few reporters calling him out on it, and then it was the whole thing unraveled into everyone's so offended by everything, and was it the worst thing he could have said? Of course not, but you don't need to make comments like that where I'm literally a woman, I'm just sitting at home watching the game and I'm catching a stray because he's comparing the people on the committee to wearing dresses. It's just stupid. He didn't have to say it. He could have made his point without it. And you're right, you want Troy Aikman's opinion because he's played the position, so he understands the importance of protecting the quarterback, but he also has, he has good insight into it. According to reports, the NFL will be discussing the roughing the passer calls this week in the New York owners meetings, I guess, in the next week. So maybe they will decide that they're calling them too strictly. As far as the Brady one goes, I want to go back to that for a second, Mike, because what I thought was interesting was Tom Brady did a little kick when he got sacked. Did you see that?
Oh,
That's what I thought the penalty was going to be on.
Going to be on him.
He kind of kicked Grady Jarrett off of him, and you can't kick a guy, right?
No, you cannot. No, maybe if Tom Brady can, I don't know, but no, normally you're not allowed to kick a guy.
So that one was definitely pretty egregious because it did look like Jarrett made the effort to not fully land his body weight on Brady. And then the one in the Chiefs game, the referee Carl Cheffers said after the game that Derek Carr gets full protection on all aspects of what we give the quarterback in a passing posture. So when he was tackled, my ruling was the defender landed on him with full body weight. The quarterback is protected from being tackled with full body weight. So he was claiming that it was a full body weight.
And he was wrong. He was wrong because it wasn't full body weight.
Yeah, it just didn't look like it was full body weight.
No.
It also was a strip sack. And so I thought that,
Yep.
him having one hand on the ball and one hand on the ground, I guess that doesn't matter according to the referee. He doubled down on it. He thought he made the right call. And then, Mike, I don't know if you noticed after that, the refs picked up a flag later in the game.
Yeah, they did.
The head ref who was doing the announcement sounded like he was about to cry because I think the fans were like just
losing their
swearing.
minds. They were
losing, swearing, going crazy, yelling at the refs the whole game. It was wild.
Yeah, you heard the chants very, very clearly. So I think one of the easy way now, again, you hate adding time to a game because the one thing I'll say for a ref, sometimes he maybe missed that arm coming out and just saw full body weight. Review it. You should be able to review it. You can review everything else. Review that and make sure, because it does have an effect. That's third down. You're off the field. Now it keeps that team with a first down, so you can't say, well, it's not that big a deal. It is that big of a deal. So find a way, whether it's telling refs to not be as quick to throw the flag or to review it. One of the two. Because if you review that, because just what that ref said, he would have seen it was not full body weight. There's no way it can be full body weight when in one arm, Chris Jones is holding the ball and the other arm is out on the ground. So he's completely wrong in his interpretation of full body weight unless he has a different definition of full body weight than I do. And real quickly on the Troy Aikman, as we were talking about before we started taping this, listen, Troy is my age. We played against one another for years, and that was our era. And we know a lot of things were said in one era that aren't really acceptable in another era. You said that back when I was playing, and nobody batted an eye. Everybody was like, yeah, right. Well, everybody understood. And even now you understand the meaning. But as I said, instead of read the room, read the century. Know where we are, and as we said, is it the most egregious thing in the world? No. But could he said it a different way? Easily. And what else happens is everybody now forgets what he was talking about and hones in on what he said, right? And now it's, he shouldn't have said that. And what gets lost is the fact that this rule needs to be updated and or changed. So I would imagine we'll be getting the Troy Aikman apology pretty soon about that one, much like we got Davante Adams, who apologized very quickly.
Oh, my gosh.
If anybody didn't see after that game, Davante Adams had a pass. Listen, that was on him. He had a pass late in the game that would have put him in field goal position to possibly win the game. He caught it. The ball got loose from his hands a little bit, and by the time he secured it, his second foot was out of bounds. It was the absolute correct call. So they lose the game by 1, and as he's running off the field, there's a cameraman kind of cleaning up, would you say, picking up his gear, picking up like the tripod. I don't know if he was looking to set it up, but he wasn't aiming anything at Davante Adams. He was just in Davante's way. And Davante was running in the tunnel and shoved the guy. I mean, just shoved him hard. I think the guy fell down. And Davante Adams almost immediately issued an apology. I have to believe he shoved him and within 5 seconds went, oh shit, what did I just do? It was the emotion of the moment. Yeah, that was not a great look for him at all.
Yeah. Also, I pulled up the full Troy Aikman quote just so we have it right. He said, I hope that the competition committee looks at this during the set of meetings and we take the dresses off. So yeah, it was like you said, and maybe he was doing his best like Howard Cosell impression or something like that.
Again, back then when Howard Cosell was doing games, that would have been, nobody would have batted an eye. Nobody would have batted an eye, but we're not in those times right now.
Right.
We're just not.
Like I said before we started recording, Mike, women are allowed to wear pants now. So at least if you're going to be sexist, update your sexist terminology, or just don't be sexist, obviously.
Right.
But
right.
I read that the equipment person who Davante Adams shoved did file a police report. He will, I'm sure, be winning some money in some sort of, again, with the liability lawyers. I mean, a great, if you're Saul Goodman and you're out there, you should start repping football programs, because it seems like there's a lot of injuries happening and lawsuits being filed.
I would imagine the league's going to fine him as well, right? I mean, I'm
sure he will be fined, maybe even suspended, because it's like, if
It was
that
so
happened to
uncalled
another
for.
player,
Yeah.
if that was another player, I could see there being a suspension even, but a non-player, like, you have to protect the people that make the TV, make the TV show. So it was pretty bad.
And that guy deserves something who got shoved. I agree with that. But did you see
NFL settlement money?
It was the Rams game, right, where that guy ran onto the field, and it was it Bobby Wagner that hit him? I think it was Bobby Wagner that hit him. Did you see that guy is suing Bobby Wagner? Kiss my ass, all right? Now, that guy better not get a damn dime, or you're going to get a bunch of copycat people running right by football players on the field hoping a football player hits them. That guy better get laughed out of court. It better not make court at all. You run on that field, you're running somebody else's field, man. You get what you deserve.
Well, like I hear you. I also am like, maybe he didn't need to tackle him that hard. I also, like, I'm very torn about this, because it was very aggressive, but also this man should not have been running on the field. It was very stupid to do that. And it kind of reminded me of the Formula One race at Silverstone this year, where there were protesters on the track. And luckily the race got red flagged before the drivers reached where protesters were on the actual Formula One track. And these cars are going 200 miles an hour. So one of these people could have been seriously injured. And it kind of reminded me of that, because I'm like, when you're getting in and you're interfering people playing a sport or doing something incredibly dangerous to begin with, like, there has to be an assumption of risk there at least. But this guy ran on the field. Obviously there was a play stoppage, and maybe he was expecting a security guard to tackle him and not Bobby Wagner in full pads. And that's why he thinks he can get some money out of it.
Don't go run by the sideline. Don't go run by the men on the field, because you might get hit. So I got nothing for that guy. I got nothing for him. Absolutely. And I swear to you, there are copycatters out there that if this guy gets money, if you're one of those morons, you're going to run on the field. Not only run on the field, you're going to run by a player and hope he hits you so you can collect your payday. So don't give this guy a damn thing.
Don't run on the field during football games.
The couple more things I want to finish on F1, because we have a champion there. But real quickly, how you feeling about your Steelers? God, they got their asses kicked.
Okay, while we're talking about roughing the passer, Mike, did you see the late hit on Kenny Pickett that led to a little scrum between Steelers players?
Yes, I talked about it. There was nothing wrong with that play. Zero.
Where is the safety for Kenny Pickett? If we're going to call a penalty on Jarrett and on Chris Jones, I mean, come on. He was already sliding, Mike.
Oh, wait, we might be talking about two different plays. I'm talking about the one where he was rolling right and running toward the sideline, looking to throw, and now I forgot the defender who dove at him. Shit.
I was talking about the one where he was sliding and got hit by another former Pitt player.
All right, I'm with you on that one. The sliding, I get I understand that, and maybe it's like rookie quarterback, we don't care about you, which is a ridiculous thing too. I meant more the one where Pickett got up and shoved the guy, because when he was rolling right, and
I know which one you're talking about.
The defender was running after, and the defender just dove, and he thought the guy was going after his knee.
He thought he went low.
Complete bullshit. He was diving for him. If Pickett was in the pocket and this guy had a free rush and he went down low and hit him, I could completely understand it. This guy is running after Pickett and diving. When you dive, when you're farther away from somebody, you don't end up at his shoulders. You're going to end up lower when you're diving. So I had zero issue with that tackle. There should not have been a flag. I like Kenny Pickett. I love the toughness and the grit of getting pissed off. That's cool. That's fine. But it should not have been a flag.
Kenny Pickett actually showed like he had some fight in him, despite the fact that they were down a billion points. I mean, Mike, the third play of the game, the Steelers defense backed the Bills up to the 2-yard line, I think. God, yeah. Josh Allen throws a 98-yard pass to Gabe
Unreal.
Davis and like blows the doors off in the first quarter. I mean, the Steelers are really bad.
They are bad.
I might be.
Yeah, go ahead.
I might start coming around to your worst in the division take because I think things seem like they are unraveling. They may be bottom 3 team in the league.
Yeah.
It's just not looking very good. Although I will say I still really like Kenny Pickett. I don't think he did anything that makes me think they should be, if they do get like a number 2 pick next season, they should be drafting like CJ Stroud or something like that.
So that's a great point because that's where I was going to go next. Even though they're going to be bad and they'll probably have a high pick, they have their quarterback. At least they think they do now. I agree with you. Kenny Pickett's going to be the guy going forward. He'll get at least another couple of years to decide that. But at least going into this draft with a higher pick, they do not have to get a quarterback. They can fill another hole that they're going to need, whether it's draft high, whether it's trade back and get multiple picks, whatever they want to do, they're going to be able to do without drafting a quarterback. So if you want to go glass half full, that's kind of going to be it.
I'm a glass half full guy, Mike.